Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Oh, boy. Well, Donald Trump is doing what he usually does. He's running around telling everybody about some peace deal, and Iran just came out and said they are not even talking to Donald Trump, and they have no interest in talking to him. But they are talking to Oman about opening the Straits of Hormuz, and their parliament is coming up with a bill in Iran that permanently blocks the U.S. and Israel from accessing the Straits of Hormuz. So everything Donald Trump has been babbling about, nothing but lies. But, we've seen this before in the past and we're seeing it again. Donald Trump is just lying about Iran contacting him to make a deal. They are making a deal, but Donald Trump is excluded. They have no interest in even talking to him at this point. So, let me share my screen. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
So Iran and Oman have been having negotiations about the Strait of Hormuz. And they're trying to figure out what rules and regulations are they going to put in place to allow ships to sail through the Strait of Hormuz to allow the reopening. Correct. The interesting thing is that draft legislation has come out in Iran saying that Izzy and the USA are no longer going to be able to use the Strait. I'm sorry, that shit is just hilarious. But if you haven't noticed, the US is kind of shut out from this conversation, and it's because the Gulf countries have looked at them and been like this. You're gonna get us fucking killed, and your ass don't got no way to defend us. And you bitch, fuck you. No, you're done. You're done. So they've shut them out from that conversation, and they're going to allow Iran to do what they want with that, right? So they've said that Izzy cannot pass the Strait of Hormuz, nor can America, right? And what does that mean? That means ships that may be bound or hold American cargo cannot go through the Strait of Hormuz, right? Not only that, they want to charge ships that violate these regulations 20% of the cargo that they're holding. So if you have 400 million barrels of crude oil in your damn ship, you got to pay me 20% of the damn profit you was going to make off them barrels of oil. And the funny thing is Iran hasn't said how they're going to classify what Izzy and American ships are, right? Meaning they could classify them by the insurance, the flag, the manufacturer, the cargo, where it's going, and where it's coming from. Those are 7 different ways to classify a ship. And like I already told you, Iran has threatened Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi, Jordan, UAE, Qatar. They've already threatened them and said, if you allow them to use your land to attack us, we're going to attack your oil and energy resources. We're going to attack all of it. We don't care anymore. And what I'm saying is that in the agreement, it was also stated that all ships can pass safely as long as they're not hostile towards Iran. Meaning, if Saudi, UAE, Bahrain, or Kuwait are used to attack Iran, Iran could then ban their vessels from leaving the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is creating the Strait of Hormuz as a sanction. The US might sanction you from the dollar and the US banks and US financial institutions. That's fine. Iran's going to ban you from geography that ships at least a fifth of the world's energy resources. And not why does this matter? Because global energy prices are going to rise regardless. Because Iran could deem whatever they want to be a hostile vessel. They find out you have American cargo in your ship and they shoot at it and then they charging you a fee. You know what I'm saying? Like global energy prices will rise and they will stay high, even though there will be peace in the Strait of Hormuz due to these regulations. It doesn't matter now because the uncertainty is even grander. We'll also have to see soon, we'll have to be looking how Gulf governments start to negotiate their relationship with the US and start to reflect on that. Like, is this actually a positive, viable relationship, or am I being used? And is this a liability to the civilians, my infrastructure, and resources? Because it's really mostly the last three than it is the first two. And that'll be a question for the Gulf governments. Either you're going to continue your relationship with Washington and continue to wage war against Iran, or you're going to have to neglect that relationship and not allow them to use your airspace or your land or the bases that they built. Have a great day, everybody.
May not look like it, but the US is actually winning in Iran. No, I'm kidding. This is a disaster. Let's do an update. So the latest reporting is that the United States is being cut out of the deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. So we've been reporting for a while that Iran and Oman are doing their own negotiations, but now we're starting to see what that looks like. Blammo, here's a map. That doesn't give you a really good look. Hold on. Okay, so here's the Strait of Hormuz. This is Oman. That's Iran. They're like, what if we just share it? But what does sharing it actually look like? Oh, officer, I don't know why I got so many pictures of the Strait of Hormuz on my phone. Blammo, new map. So the way they say this is going to work is that any cargo going into the Strait of Hormuz is going to hang out close to the Iranian. Peace.
There is not going to be a return to the status quo ante with the Strait of Hormuz. It's never going to go back to the way it was before. No matter how much Donald Trump kicks and moans and complains, it's not going to happen because it's way too powerful of a tool and way too useful for Iran for them to give that up. What's going to happen is that Donald Trump is going to remix the JCPOA, sell it to us as the most tremendous, amazing deal that's ever been made in the history of deals. And then he's going to slap his name on it and he's going to call it a day. And he's going to take credit for it in ways that are going to satisfy his base. Everyone else will see through it, but it's going to be worse than the JCPOA because it's also going to include Iranian control of some kind in perpetuity over the strait. Watch. Mark my words, you'll see. By the way, the Under Report just did a really good video about the strait just a couple of days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. If you don't already follow Eric Zuliger, he doesn't report specifically on Iran, but he does report on the entire region. And if you're interested in that region, you should go check him out. I'm going to tag him below.
President Trump, you're not in charge. It looks like Iran is. Iran's going to regret this. We've been hearing this for months. President Trump, reach down and see if you have a pair, because I haven't seen any. I know my Republicans are going to call me a rhino, but listen, I'm not afraid to call my party out when they're wrong, okay? We've been hearing this for months. Oh, we got a deal. No, we don't. We got a deal. No, we don't. We got a deal. No, we don't. We got a deal. We don't have a deal because Iran is making no deal with you. So just let us know, okay? Because we're sick of the lies. I'm sorry, this does not mean I'm not going to vote Republican. Doesn't mean I don't like Trump. I'm calling him out for his BS lies. We've been hearing this for months and months and months, and nothing happened. You know why? Because President Trump, the already the deal guy, is letting Iran run him by the nose. They got a hook right in his nose, and they're pulling Trump to everywhere they want him to go. I said what I said. Again, President Trump, reach down and see if you have a pair, because I'm starting to think you don't.
We have breaking news. Iran has no idea what Trump is talking about. And this has to go with him making stuff up and just lying. He's not part of the negotiations at all. Iran is going on about their business and working with other countries, and they're not even talking to the United States. They don't care what they have to say. So Iran is going about its business. And this whole theater that Donald Trump has made up in his mind doesn't mean anything. They don't care. Iran has made it very clear. We're not talking to him. And we really don't care what he has to say. It doesn't matter. He's not from here. We will decide what happens here, not him. So, yeah, as far as Iran is concerned, Israel and the United States has no rights to the Strait of Hormuz. And they will not be treated kindly if they try to use the Strait of Hormuz. Now, other countries, yeah, they have every right. They have every ability. But Iran has made it very clear. The United States is not a player in the game. We've moved on. So, yeah, that's where the United States sits. And this administration is going to do what? Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
So, y'all, it doesn't matter whether it's open or closed, the U.S. will not have access to the Strait of Hormuz, and neither will Israel. But you can't really blame the Iranians for taking that position. I mean, y'all started a preemptive war. You have been bombing them and double teaming them, and you can't expect them to just open up the Strait of Hormuz and resume like none of it happened. Apparently, they don't see it that way, and they're keeping you out of there. But Donald Trump is being what Donald Trump is. He's all in the media talking about we're close to a deal. It's all a lie, y'all. Iran said they're not even communicating with Donald Trump at all, but he is on the usual lies all over. According to him, oh, they're coming to him to make a deal. Why would they come to you to make a deal? You're not even, you didn't even win the war. Wishful thinking, I suppose. Y'all know that Lions Gate is open, you know, and they're telling people to, manifest between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So, interesting. It's so hard to believe it's already here. It comes around every year, though. They're not going to do it. 100 pages a day, they are too scared of them. They are literally scared of Donald Trump. That's why none of them will do anything to him. Big 45 tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Ascension Watson, thank you so much for the 200 joules. Jammin, thank you so much for your support. And TK116, thank you for the super chat. Shalom, family, and shalom to you, and thank you for your support for my channel. Yeah, well, Donald Trump's going to do what he does. And besides, what he's doing is market manipulation. It really is. He knows he's not telling the truth. But if he says things are going well, then the Wall Street stays in the green, which, this war really did put it on the forefront. It's nothing but insider trading and all kinds of scamming and cheating going on Wall Street. In fact, that's the culture on Wall Street. That's why all of these politicians are so rich, because they do a bunch of insider trading. And who's going to stop them? Donald Trump, who's doing the same thing? Nobody's going to stop him. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to pick up your hair products. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I got to get the Bible study set up and my lives for tomorrow. So I will see you then. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Shalom, family.